What's up guys? Today I'm going to do a quick video on the before and after installation of the P1 GTR body kit that I got from Garage Hiro. This is pretty much a full body kit where it's a wide body kit and also has a hood bonnet and scoops and pretty much the full deal, you know. So I just wanted to show you how it looks before I install it. I actually had this P1 GTR painted a different color beforehand and didn't really like the color, so I decided to strip the paint down, and I'm actually going to repaint it obviously after I install this body kit. So I just want to show you how it looks before I install it, and then once it's finished I want to show the final product. But you can see, you know, it comes with the side fenders, side skirts, front lip, hood bonnet, and these little GT scoops that go everywhere. So it's probably my favorite body kit so far that I've seen from Garage Hiro. It has the most, like, you know, detail, I guess you could say, out of all the body kits I've seen out there, because they don't really come with this many, you know, pieces to really change the entire look of the body. So I'm, you know, pretty excited to see how it transforms this P1 GTR into something completely different than what you usually see on these Mini Zs. I've already done a video on installing a body kit on an R33 GTR Skyline. So if you haven't seen that yet, if you want to get an idea of how I install them, go watch that video. I'm not really going to go through the process of putting it on in this video. I'm going to, you know, shorten up this as much as I can. So it's just straight to the point. Because I'm just going to glue these on, and then after I'm done gluing everything on, I'll show you what it looks like. And then after that, I'm going to have to paint it. So as you can see, you know, this is how they usually come if you order any of these from Garage Hiro. They just come with a little piece of paper that kind of shows you where everything goes. You know, it's pretty obvious where everything goes, but, you know, just nice to have that. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it when it comes to, you know, purchasing one of these body kits and then throwing them on. Let's see, as I've shown in other videos, I've already added, you know, the body kit to this R33, you know, the side skirts, the lip, the hood bonnet, and the little back bumper pieces. So this one came out pretty good. Same for my R34 Skyline. Did side skirts and a front lip and a bonnet and everything as well. So I'm pretty happy how those came out. I do have some other projects I will eventually do as well. Like this Skyline, I'm actually going to paint it silver and blue like the Too Fast Too Furious Skyline. So I'll add the side skirt and the front bumper and everything to match that Skyline as much as possible. And I have also another 12C GT3 I'm going to do. So in another video, I'll show how this one looks, you know, before and after as well. And I'll probably paint that one all black. So we'll see how it goes. This one's going to be maybe a blue turquoise color shift. I'm still kind of debating on what the final color is going to be for this P1 GTR. As you can see, like I said, I stripped down the paint. It used to have a black base coat, but it was a purple green color shift, and it didn't really, the color shift wasn't really that good. It came out kind of looking grayish, to be honest. In certain lights, it didn't really change color like really good. So I'm just gonna start from scratch, repaint it all black again after I had the body kit on, and then maybe a blue turquoise color shift. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. So I also made my own wing for it, this GT wing from the stock one. It's a little bit different design, so I went with that. And I really am basically getting these bodies ready to fit on my WLToys K969, because I already have this 12C GT3 body on it, which this is pretty much my basher body. I'm not putting a body kit or anything on this one, just keeping it the way it is. So I'm still in the process of finishing this build, so in the near future I'll be putting some videos out on all the upgrades I did to this for the suspension and the steering. So just hold on for those videos. I'm still waiting on a few parts, so once I get everything in and I'm happy with the results, I will make some videos on what I did to, you know, put this guy together. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, I'm making all these mini Z, the racing bodies for the MR-03s, the wide bodies that are 98mm. I'm trying to get them to fit on this K969 since it's a 98mm wheelbase, or at least I'm keeping it 98mm wheelbase. And the tires are wide instead of narrow, like my MA020. Like these Skylines, these are narrow sets, so I can't run these bodies on this guy because it's too wide. It's a lot wider. So I'm just gonna keep all these narrow bodies for the MA020, while I'm gonna take a lot of my racing bodies that I have for my MR-03s to see if I can run them on the K969. But the thing is, they have to be, since these bodies are real low, like low profile for underneath the hood and the back there, I have to make this as low as I can in the front and as low as I can in the back, so there's no interference. So far, the 12C GT3 has no problem fitting the front and the back, while the P1 GTR I really haven't tested yet, but I'm hoping it'll have no problem too. So, but yeah. But it's coming out pretty good. So yeah, I'll make some videos of that soon, so just wait for those. But yeah, I'm gonna get to gluing these body parts on, and then I will come back and show you how it came out. All right, so this is how it's come out so far. Yeah, it really wasn't easy. I can at least tell you that much. It took me a little bit extra work than I expected. The main problem was in areas where the plastic flexes was the hardest to get the plastic to adhere to the plastic without like popping off. So to fix that problem, I actually had to put little rods through the plastic to keep the especially on the wheel wells here, to keep it from popping off when I say like I flex it. So like when I bend the car like that, you see how much flex there is. The glue does a good job, but over time it eventually will start to break apart if I do it too much. It does it a little bit here too on like the hood if I went this way, but with enough glue it actually holds now, which is good. But this area was the worst spot that I had to figure out how to get it to stay, because that's where a lot of flex is going to be when I take the body on and off of the chassis of the car. And then a little bit of the flex that goes on here when I have to put the clips on. I gotta, you know, spread the body out like that to get the clips to go in place. So it needs to flex this way and this way. So to keep all the plastic parts on, I needed more than just the glue. So the glue plus these little rods that I added in there, I used like these little brass rods that I had from other projects. I just cut little pieces and then I drilled holes. After I glued it on, I drilled little holes through, and then I stuck the rods in. And then to get them to stay still, after I kind of put some glue in to help hold the rods in place, I used my soldering iron to heat up the rods on the bottom. So I bent like a little 90-degree hook to them, and then heated the little hook end and then melted it into the plastic, so then they would stay permanently in place. And then I just snipped off the extra bit that was on top, and then I just sanded that down. Once I got it, you know, flush enough with the body, I just sanded it to where I can't even feel them anymore. It feels like it's part of the plastic. So yeah, that was the hardest part, was to keep the plastic on during flexing. Otherwise, like the areas that don't flex, I mean, they pretty much stay on with the glue pretty well. I just put a couple extra rods in some areas to make sure some of the other parts don't ever pop off. Like these little pieces can kind of pop off easy if you accidentally hit too much pressure on this part of it. It can pop off. So I just put 2 rods in place, so that actually fix that problem because it did break off a couple times when I was working on this. I had to re-glue it back on. So after I added the 2 rods and then re-glued everything in, these don't pop off anymore. So that's how I had to fix that problem. And then the wide body kits here, the only problem with the wide fenders that they have, like especially the back ones, is they come out like an extra 3 to 4 millimeters wider than the actual body was. So I had to fill in that extra space with like some other glue. So I used this Duco plastic model cement that you get at like any kind of hobby shop or whatever. And it's not the greatest glue, but it's good to like kind of fill in space. So I used the Tamiya extra thin cement pretty much for all of it. So for everything, and then I came in with the other stuff and I filled in like areas that needed to be filled in. So like the gaps and stuff that are not making contact with the plastic. But everywhere else that was like plastic to plastic contact, I only used the Tamiya cement. So that's how I glued everything on, and then just put the pins in everywhere I needed that I knew there was going to be some flexing going on. And it seems like that pretty much solved the issues I was having. So nothing really is peeling away from the body or anything. Everything stays on, because once I paint it, you know, there's no going back. So I don't want these things to crack or start peeling off or popping off after I paint it. So I had to figure this all out before I got to the painting, you know, the next step of painting it. So far I do like the way it looks. It's gonna look a lot better once I actually, you know, paint it. So I'll paint it all black first. So I might, you know, show how it looks when it's painted black, but black is gonna be the base coat, while the blue and turquoise color shift will be the main coat. But I might leave like this section black, and like these little areas inside where the headlights back in there, I might leave that black, and then smoke out the little pieces of glass for the headlights. And some other little areas I'm gonna leave black. So it's kind of like a 3-tone, because it'd be black and then blue and turquoise color shift. So that's how I'm thinking it'll look, if that's what I end up deciding to do. So yeah, in the areas where you can see I use some of the putty. So I use the Mr. White putty to kind of fill in the gaps in some areas, because these body kits are supposed to basically be glued on and then have like an edge around them, almost like they're like riveted on or bolted on. So they're not really supposed to be smooth and like blend in with the body. But I rather have the body kit actually blend into it, so it looks like the body came out like a wide body from the factory instead of it just having like bolt-on parts. So yeah, that's why I filled in all the areas with putty to kind of just smooth everything out, so there's no ridges or anything. It kind of just blends in, and then sanded over it and just kept sanding it to the point where it's like, it's hard to see, but it's pretty smooth. Once I start covering everything with paint, it'll be even harder to notice that these were pieces that I glued on. And then these little pegs that I have in here, the rods, those should just vanish with it too. Once I paint it, you shouldn't even notice that they were even there. But I guess I'll find out after I start painting it if I can still kind of see little divots from it, but they should be flush with the plastic. I don't feel anything, so we'll see how that comes out. Otherwise, I'll just have to keep, you know, adding a little bit more paint, probably more, you know, black, until it kind of like fades away. But yeah, once I put the black on and then I put the turquoise blue color shift on, there should be enough layers of paint on here to where it should just make all that stuff kind of just vanish, and it should blend in really well. I couldn't really put rods on these little vents here because the angles are kind of weird, so I didn't really want to put a rod through it. And they pretty much stay on with the glue, and then I use the putty to kind of smooth them out too, to where they blend into the body. So that's how those came out. And then the hood scoop, or the roof scoop, and this little vent thing, whatever, scoop back here. Of course, the hood bonnet, I just added a little bit there to kind of help blend in that part. I was going to put some putty around here to blend this into the hood better, but it seems like this putty might have some kind of chemicals in it that actually kind of break down the Tamiya cement. So it actually started to peel right here, started popping off there after I started adding the putty to it. So in areas like this, I kind of just decided not to use the putty because I don't want the putty to eat through the glue and then make the glue not hold anymore, and then it starts, you know, peeling up, and then it doesn't matter how much putty I put there, it's gonna look terrible because it starts cracking and just, you know, it just won't look good. So I veered away from that. And then on these areas, I barely have any putty in there. I put a bunch in there and then I sanded it down enough to where it just enough in there to kind of hide the little seam from the body kit to where you can't even notice anymore. Because if I put too much putty there, the putty, even when it's flexing, it can flex a little bit, but it might start cracking over time. So this came out fine where none of this putty is cracking or anything when I flex it. So if I put too much there, then it might have started cracking. So that's why I just sanded it all down to where it's nice and smooth without too much putty being there. But the putty is good to definitely fill in some seams and some areas all around all the pieces that I glued on, so they kind of just blend in with the body and they make everything look, you know, a lot better and more uniform, you know, more like it came from the factory like this. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how it's looking. So once I paint it, it should make it look a lot better, and then all this stuff that you see going on should just kind of vanish and blend in, and then it should look really nice. So next part is painting it. So I'll probably paint it black and maybe show it on here while it's black, and then the last step is painting the blue turquoise color shift over the black and doing clear coat, and then it's done. So yeah, just wanted to give you an update on how it looks. So, and it fits my K969 chassis pretty well. I had to put some wider wheels on here to make up for this, because the wide body kit added like another 3 to 4 millimeters of space outwards. So I had to actually use some more deeper, you know, deep dish tires here, wheels, so it can reach all the way out, and just a couple millimeters in the front. But yeah, and it clears, so even with the full steering, everything clears without getting caught. So looks pretty good. So that's the update, and then I will come back and show you the final product later. And just like that, the base coat is done. It came out pretty good. Just like I was hoping, most of the little areas that I wanted to cover and go away pretty much vanished. So you can't even really see the seams or the little divots from any of the rods or pegs, whatever you want to call them. There's a little bit here and there, but I still have some more paint I'm going to put on it. So the more layers of paint I put on will pretty much just eliminate those. Because yeah, this is just the base coat. I need to paint the whole thing black before I put the color shift paint on. It needs a black background to make the color really pop. So overall, I think it looks pretty good in black, to be honest. Though, almost looks like a new Batmobile or something. But yeah, it came out pretty decent. I'll leave some areas black, like I said. I'll probably leave this whole section black on both sides, and a little bit of black in here leading to the headlights. Maybe a little bit on the front lip, and probably the back area in here might stay black. And of course, these will be black too. I gotta sand it down again to really smooth it out before I put the other coat. I don't really have to sand the main body. I used a different paint for the GT wing, so I need to smooth that out a little bit before I put the other color on it. But yeah, that's where we're at so far. So the next video, or next part of this video, I'm sorry, will be after I do the color shift paint job on it and the clear coat, because I have to clear coat over it just to protect the paint. And then also the clear coat gives it more depth. It really makes the color shift look a lot better. Like you really have to put clear coat on it. But I mean, it's a good idea to put clear coat on it anyway, just to make sure that the paint is protected and doesn't chip off or anything down the road. So, yep, here's the update on the paint job. Looks pretty good. What I forgot to mention also in the other part of the video is that I had to kind of cut away a lot of the plastic from the original wheel well of the body, because the wheels would hit up in there, so I had to really like shave away that material with like a razor knife. And then so now the wheels can really go up into the new wheel well from the body kit. So that's one thing I forgot to really mention. So I figured I'd just let you know about that. Didn't really have to get rid of too much material underneath the front ones. It was the back ones that were the worst. I just had to remove a little bit of material up here. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with it so far. So next part of the video will hopefully be the final product. So just stay tuned for that. All right, and here is the final product, or at least, you know, for now, this is where I'm stopping at. This is without the clear coat, which I actually like the way it looks so far, even without the clear coat. It has more of like a satin finish to it, you know, like in between matte and gloss. But to be honest, this is the second time I had to paint this. The first time I painted it, it came out fine. It was just the clear coat that I put over it was a different type of clear coat than I usually use. And that clear coat actually ended up ruining it, where it left tiny little air bubbles in some areas on the body. And then once I went back and used the compound to shine up the clear coat, it would leave little tiny white specks in those little holes after it dried. So it kind of ruined the whole paint job for me. So I had to sand over everything, repaint it black, and then paint it this color shift turquoise blue and blue again. And this time I'm just not gonna clear coat it. I mean, I might clear coat it again down the road here with the usual clear coat that I use, that I've done on other bodies that have come out fine. I just made the mistake of trying a different clear coat this time, and it cost me a lot of extra work and stuff. So, but for now, I actually think it looks pretty good without even a high gloss finish, because usually it'd be a lot shinier than this once I do the clear coat and then, you know, sanded that and then use the finishing compound to shine it up. But to be honest, I almost like this finish to it a little bit better. Every other one I do is usually really shiny, and I don't mind having one that's a little bit less shiny. So this is fine with me. So I'll probably end up just sticking with this. It's good to use a clear coat over your paint though, just in case, you know, your paint, it'll keep it from chipping or anything like that. It usually protects the paint, but it's not like you absolutely have to use clear coat. It's just a good idea to protect the paint as long as possible. But this color shift stuff is actually pretty good. It has like its own little bit of, you know, clear coat in the paint, to where if you spray enough of it on, it comes on pretty smooth and pretty solid, to where, I mean, it should be okay. It hopefully won't chip off unless I, of course, run into something and hit something hard enough, then maybe it will. But otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the outcome. Obviously, I left some areas black, as you can see. I like the way this looks, the 2 or even, I guess, 3-tone look to it. And the lighting, actually the camera doesn't really do this paint any justice. Like it looks really good, you know, in real life, more than it does on camera. And depending on the lighting, it'll either be dark blue or the light turquoise color. So it looks really good in all kinds of lighting. So yeah, the body kit, I mean, it was definitely a process to add on to this body, but after I put enough layers of paint on here, you can't even see that I added a body kit to this thing. It looks like it came like this from the factory. Pretty smooth, there's not too many seams anywhere, and you wouldn't even tell that I added these parts onto this body. You'd probably think it came like this. So yeah, remember I had to put the fenders on, and then the side skirt, the front lip, the hood, the roof scoop, side scoops here, back piece, and a little side piece here, and of course putting the little pins and all the fenders here definitely help keep these in place, so when the body flexes, when I take it on and off the car, it doesn't crack or break anywhere. So, and of course the 3D printed GT wing I added myself. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this body kit. Garage Hiro does a good job making these kits for these mini Z bodies. I have a few more bodies that I have body kits for. So I have a R34 and R35 wide body kit I have to do, and then a Supra and a 12C GT3 as well. So I'll do one at a time over the next few months when I have the time, and I'll probably post those on here as well, showing you how they came out. But yeah, that's it for the P1 GTR wide body kit. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Stay tuned, I'll have some more of these coming out down the road, and I hope you guys learned something, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.